Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another stream with great music, despite what people in the chat might say. There's some classic tunes, you know? I mean, I say classic, they're just tunes we've used for the whole stream, pretty much ever since it began. So you have to hear the same old music, just a bit of background music, so there's no dead noise. Anyway, on to important things. I guess we'll talk about some FPL. Just a couple of questions here or there. Plenty to talk about, to be fair. Defensive options. Matip is out. Gomez is obviously out. Rumours that Trent is out for Liverpool as well for a couple of weeks. Now, that's not confirmed yet, the latter, but Matip and Gomez definitely out. So that's something to talk about. Are Liverpool going to be able to defend as much? Or, you know, be as good? Obviously, they're going to be able to defend still, but will they be as good in defence? Who to get rid of for Trent? Because a lot of people have got Trent, myself included. What else is there? Kane captain. Are those of us like me really not going for Kane? Salah. Am I really going to get rid of Salah? I know the kind of abuse I'm going to get tonight when I change my mind, that's for sure. We'll talk about that in a minute anyway. How are we all? Let's just kick... I'll go straight onto the other screen. By the power of the great production that is Let's Talk FPL streams. Boom! Really, I should get some kind of Christmas design on here somewhere, but I'm very lazy. So the jumper will just have to do. I quite like this jumper, actually. This is the one I've worn before. Fits a bit better these days, though. Daniel, what's going on? Adam, nice to see you. Jason, too. Lots of people in already. Can't say hi to everyone, unfortunately. That would take forever. Thanks for the stream. No worries. Same time. Well, I say same time. I kind of like doing it as early as possible. But I know that sucks. I know having a regular time every week is kind of handy because you know exactly when it's going to be. But look, 9:15 tonight, maybe 9:30 next week. In fact, there won't be a stream on Thursday next week. It'll be Wednesday. Anyway, what's the first FPL question? We'll talk about Salah very soon because I need to get my excuses out. Yeah, Trent. So I suppose before we go on to that, there's 5 polls, one of which is about Trent Alexander-Arnold. Really should have done one about Salah, to be honest, but it's too late. We don't care about that now. Best Alexander-Arnold replacement, your Game Week 17 captain. So make sure you choose the option of who you're going to do rather than who you think is the best, because there is a difference. For example, I'd probably vote for Kane if I was voting for best, but I don't have him. So I would obviously choose Sterling. Lacazette, what to do with him? Didn't start. Did he start the last game? It was Huddersfield, right? Yeah, he did start, but he got pulled off in 45. Hasn't played too many minutes. Well, he's been injured and stuff, obviously. And then he's playing tonight in Europe, and Aubameyang isn't. So what to do with him? A lot of owners now getting worried. Will he start the next game? We just don't know. Best David Silva replacement, he's out for a few weeks, I think. I can't remember exactly how long, but he's out long enough to transfer. And a few people asked me about best Ryan replacements, and considering I've got Ryan, and I know that he needs to go very soon, I was quite happy to put that one up, and someone asked about it. So there we go. That's the 5 polls. If you want to vote on them, they're in the top right-hand corner. Click the little eye, or hover over and click the little eye, and you can vote on every single one. We can talk about them at towards the end of the stream. Lacazette off on the 60th minute. Yeah, the Arsenal game is still going on at the time of recording this. I don't know if anything too much interesting is going to happen, but that's interesting that he's gone off on 60 minutes. So they could start with both of them the weekend. Maybe Lacazette's minutes will be managed because he's just come back from injury. He might play. I think there's a League Cup game soon. Let me have a quick look. So potentially Aubameyang could play, League Cup quarterfinals. So maybe Aubameyang gets Southampton, then Lacazette gets Spurs, possibly. I don't know. So they've only got 2 decent strikers. Welbeck could play there. Is Welbeck even fit? I mean, I guess he's irrelevant when it comes to FPL, so I don't even check that. But yeah, plenty to think about with him. What to do with Lacazette? Let's talk about that first, I guess. I don't know. If I had him, I would really want to get rid of him, I think. And I think it comes down to kind of squad management. So if you're FPL, like for my team, for example, I need to replace Dean Garner because Kamara, I can't be sure if he's going to start, and I want 7 attackers out, right? Trent might be injured, so I need to get rid of him too. So straight away, that's 2 players I need to worry about. And I've got a keeper that I don't really want. So can I really afford to look at getting rid of Salah when I've got those other things to worry about? So I would have the same with Lacazette. If you've got other things to worry about, I'd probably look at them first. Because there's always a possibility that Aubameyang and Lacazette start that Southampton game. If they both start, who's to say whether it'll be Lacazette or Aubameyang that gets all the points? They both might get points. One of them might do, and it could be Lacazette. So I'm not sure if I'd be in a rush to get rid of him this week. And I don't think, new manager at Southampton, will he turn them around? Possibly by the end of the season. But is he going to do it straight away against an Arsenal side? Probably not. So I think I would keep him. If you've got the luxury where you've got nothing else to do, and maybe you've got the money to upgrade, I don't know if I would go Aubameyang. That's quite sideways. Even though you'd probably be more confident of him starting. If you could get Kane or someone, or if you wanted to downgrade and upgrade a midfielder, you could do that. But I would keep. I think there's every chance they start together, especially as he only got 60 minutes tonight. So I think I would probably keep him. But at the same time, I know if I had him, I would be probably looking to get rid. But I think the sensible choice is probably to give him that Southampton game. And then Trent. So this is something I'm considering now. I won't go too much into what I'm going to do because it differs for the reasons I'll give when we look at my team. But let's say you're looking at a straight swap. You can't afford to go up to Robertson. Some people are looking at Lovren. I personally think everything's kind of tying together where I'd probably just not go for a Liverpool defender. They've got, and obviously the caveat here is we don't know for sure if Trent is out. He could be fine. But let's say he's out. Let's say he is out. We'll take it that Klopp's going to say in his press conference that he's out for 3-4 weeks, whatever it might be. Even 2 weeks would be annoying because of the amount of games that are coming. So Liverpool are probably going to line up with either Klein at right back or maybe Milner or Fabinho. And then Lovren, Van Dijk's obviously decent enough. And then Robertson as well. But you might see Robertson miss the odd game over Christmas. So Lovren's obviously the obvious choice for the same price, but I just think with 3 top 6 sides coming and a bunch of defenders missing, I'll be tempted just to skip Lovren. But what I will say, for defence is a bit different to attack, I think, when it comes to Liverpool. Liverpool defended so well and they've hardly conceded any goals, and 2 of the top 6 matches are at home, and I can easily see them keeping Man United out. Will they keep Arsenal out as well? Maybe. Man City's obviously going to be tough, and that's an away game. But they've got Man United, Newcastle and Arsenal at home in the next 4. Can I see 2 clean sheets there? Possibly. So I wouldn't discount Lovren completely. I just think if there was ever a time not to have Liverpool defenders, it would be now. They've got injuries. They're probably going to have to... I don't expect Robertson to miss 2 games in the next kind of 4 or 5. But maybe 1. And as soon as Moreno comes in, that makes their defence weaker. So I would probably... I think I would look to avoid him. But at the same time, I don't think he's a bad choice either. Hang on just a sec. Can't be saying that. Given your opinion on Liverpool defenders, should we look to move on Robertson soon? I don't... To me, Robertson's a bit like... The fact that I know Alonso's got better fixtures, but I just think Robertson, you have to have a really good reason to get rid of him, right? I can possibly see some clean sheets there. And if you've already owned him, I don't think he's worth a transfer out. That's what I would say. Again, it's all about squad management over Christmas. We've already seen rotation. There's no reason why that won't happen again over Christmas. We've needed our benches. I'm more focused on getting... Personally, I'm more focused... I think this is a hard period to be aggressive and attacking with your transfers. When your injuries are mounting up. Because there's so many quick fixtures in quick succession that, your player might play one game, then not the next one. So I'm more focused on getting rid of the players that I know are definitely not going to play. I know that Dean Garner's probably not going to start. Trent's likely out. they should be first to go. If you've got Robertson, nothing else to do, I think it's a bit like Aubameyang. You could cash in, but I think long term you're definitely going to want him. So I personally don't think Robertson's a sell, to be honest. His home form, points per game, is insane. I don't think he's blanked at home. Could be wrong on that. As in, he's either got a clean sheet or an attacking return, or both. So yeah, I don't think I would move Robertson. I just think if you're moving on a defender for Trent, and we're going to talk about other replacements now, I think there's maybe more interesting options. One of which is Kolasinac. Now, as someone's pointing out in the chat, once Monreal's back, will he be as nailed on? Maybe not. We don't know for sure. But he's been playing pretty well. The problem with Arsenal is they've not been keeping many clean sheets. So you're banking on them starting to keep some clean sheets with easier fixtures, which is when I would usually obviously target defenders. I think most people would do that. But if you look at his attacking threat, it's been pretty good. He's got a lot of penalty area touches. I think he's got the most out of all defenders in like the last 4 game weeks. I was checking on Fantasy Football Scout earlier. So he's fairly attacking. He's getting into that box a lot. Alonso, by the way, on the other hand, it's very tough to find any attacking potential for him for the last 4 weeks. Like, really tough. He's really been reined in by Sarri. So we'll see if that happens with the easier fixtures. But just on a tangent, Alonso, yeah, no good really for attacking potential. Fingers crossed that changes. But yeah, Kolasinac is probably who I would go for if I was going for a straight swap. Now, again, I don't want to talk about my team all night. I'll talk about it properly later. But I'm probably going to downgrade Trent to someone about 4.5 because that ties in with my transfer. So yeah, I think Kolasinac. Doherty is another one if you haven't already got him. I mean, once he scored again at the weekend, I was kind of like, he's absolutely essential, and it is very hard to look past him because he's quite attacking. But Wolves' fixtures are on and off not great. So every other week now for about 6 game weeks, is in the next 6 game weeks. Every other week they have a pretty tough fixture, which you wouldn't expect much attacking returns from him necessarily. And if you look at his recent scores, yes, he's got attacking returns in the last 3, but like the previous 4, 5, 6, he's got nothing. So if you think Wolves are going to get some clean sheets in their easier games, if you think they can turn around the defensive issues, then I do think Doherty is probably the one to go for. Especially if you've got good bench options in between when he's got tougher fixtures. Because I have benched him and it hasn't hurt me so far, although he did come off the bench once with an assist, which was nice. But you are really relying on attacking returns of him right now because they can't keep a clean sheet to kind of save their life, sort of thing. I think it's 7 or 8 games now without one. So yeah, Doherty, Kolasinac, and Lovren are probably the obvious ones. And obviously, if you want to downgrade, like I'm looking at doing, and there's other options. Diop, Marco pointing out in the chat, 4.3. Schindler and Lowe. Is it Lowe or Love? Huddersfield have got pretty good fixtures coming up, and they've been pretty defensively sound, or at least tight and organised at the back. Don't think they've been. I'd have to double check to be sure, but I don't think they've been conceding that many at home. So he's another one I'm looking at 4.4. There's loads of options below 4.5. Okay, what about Delph? So I don't think. I can't remember who the other guy is now. Is it Zinchenko that can play left back as well? I don't know if he's injured at the moment. But I don't know. Delph to me just seems quite uninspiring, to be honest. Is he going to get many attacking returns? Potentially not. And City haven't been keeping many clean sheets recently. Now, I wouldn't necessarily expect that to continue. Obviously, they're a great side. They're going to have so much of the ball. It's hard for the other team to score. I don't know. Delph could be good if they knock a few clean sheets together in a row, and obviously he plays every game. But I don't know. I feel like there's more exciting picks to go for personally than Delph. What about Kiko Femenia? Yes, I looked at him. He's 4.2 million. So I think he could be a good option for Watford. The only thing is, let me just double check because this is something I've not. Hang on. I've not actually checked because obviously he's playing instead of Yamat. Fair enough. That's happened Fraser. I don't know if Jan-Matt was injured earlier in the season, but it looks like Kiko Femenia has got his place. So, yeah, 4.2, he could be a nice option. I don't know how many clean sheets Watford are going to keep, but they've got pretty good fixtures coming up. But home fixtures, 3 in the next 6, but 1 is Chelsea. So, I think he's maybe a good rotating bench option, but it's not someone you're going to want to play every week. Yeah, Holobas in the same team for set pieces. Could be a better option. Depends if you need to save that money or not, really. Future FPL champ. If you become a champ after all these questions, you have to give me a shout out. Thanks for the donation, Son or Sane. I'd probably say this for every question, but this is really tricky because they both played midweek, and I was hoping that Son wouldn't play, but when I saw the team sheet, I was like, yeah, fair enough. That's probably their best 11, or at least their best attacking 4. But he came off around 70 minutes. I don't know if it's a good thing that Lucas Moura scored, because obviously that was something Son couldn't do. Son did have a good chance. It was saved pretty nicely. Obviously, Sané got all 90 minutes. If you were going to ask me to put some money on which of these two was more likely to be benched this week, I think it's probably Sané, because Mahrez was benched. So you think that's a more likely chance of him starting, although they could save him for the Cup. And yes, you'd mostly imagine Mahrez on the right, which could happen, but Sterling could play left. I know he got 90 minutes as well, but he had a rest recently. So, I don't know. I think potentially Sané's got a little bit more chance of missing out. But to be fair, he hasn't played a lot of the start of the season, so he's probably just as fit as anyone else. And I just think Man City are going to, again, put 3 goals past Everton and Crystal Palace. So I think if they both play, I think I'd prefer Sané. It's just whether you think one of them is potentially going to get benched. I think it's so hard to call. It really is. I got a real dilemma this week about whether to get Sané or not for Salah. That could hurt. Jose, what's going on? Greetings from Kenya, watching all the way from Mombasa. Very nice. Thanks for tuning in. So, Snodgrass versus Felipe Anderson. Underlying stats for the last 4 games are amazing for Snodgrass. Yeah, he's created a lot of chances. I don't think he's really had too many shots though, but he's only 5.3. From Indonesia, what do you think about Kolasinac or Doherty? That's a lot of questions. I just kind of answered the Doherty and Kolasinac one. Torreira and Sterling or Richarlison and Son? I can't buy into this Torreira hype. I don't know. I know he's not like a traditional necessarily CDM. He does get forward a bit, but I don't know. I don't know if these attacking returns are going to continue, to be honest. Probably Richarlison and Son, but Richarlison's got 2 tougher fixtures now, so I guess if you take the fixtures into account, probably Torreira and Sterling, but I'm not as hyped as everyone else about this Torreira dude. Very good player, I'm just not sure about FPL option, to be honest. Sané due a rest. The thing with Sané, if you have a look, I'll look now, because he has played a lot recently, and Sterling has had a rest. But Sané, in the league at least, he actually had a rest against Man United. So in the last 6 games, he's only played 4 90 minutes in the league. And the other 2 games were 52 minutes and 28. And before that, his minutes were kind of sporadic. So I don't even know if he actually needs a rest. There's always the potential that Mahrez doesn't play. Or they play all of them this week against Everton. And then maybe Mahrez plays the league game, and one of Sterling and Sané gets a rest. It's just so difficult to call. Like, we would literally worry about this every single week now, going up until January. Every single game week, will they play, won't they play? And we'll never really know. Torreira 4 yellow cards, that's good spot that. He did have a bit of a rest against Chelsea. He was pulled off for tactical reasons. I personally think he'll be straight back in the team, like he was in Europe. I don't think Pep was annoyed about him. I just think Chelsea played a different kind of way than Pep was thinking about. I think Sané will start. He's on great form. The thing is, the whole Man City team's on great form. Like, whoever they play will do well. Sané has started every City game Mendy has been out. But was Mendy... Was he available for the Man United game? Can't remember. Feel like Sterling's form has to slow down. Finishing from outside the six isn't great. Yeah, it might slow down a bit. I don't know if it will slow down that much though. I mean, he's in the penalty area so often, and he gets so many touches in the box. So many of his goals are just tap-ins. Look at the back post, Sané to Sterling or Sterling to Sané. And the thing is, what you got to think about with City is they score so many goals. You know, you can easily see them scoring 3 or 4 goals against Everton and Palace, I think. I know Everton have been okay defensively, but they didn't do that well against Watford, who are a much worse team attacking-wise than City. I mean, everyone in the league is, pretty much. So they're going to have so many chances, 3 or 4 goals in the next 2 games. I don't think anyone would... Obviously, it might not happen. They might only score 2 in each game. But I don't think anyone will massively argue against at least 3. And so who's assisting and scoring all those? So that's why I think Sterling's ceiling's still so high. Diangana's 100%, unless something major happens between now and Saturday deadline, Diangana is definitely going. 100%. Okay, so the stream's been on for a while. I'm trying not to talk about my team too early because I know people get annoyed about it. But I'm going to talk about my team. And it kind of ties in with Salah as well. Because obviously I was quite up for selling him on the video I did yesterday. And I'm still not against it, but I feel like what I've said already about kind of FPL squad management. Sometimes stuff comes in and you need to react to it. So let's say that Trent is fully injured. Then I could play Wan-Bissaka and bench Trent, but I'm just leaving myself another issue to deal with next week. So originally I was looking at Salah and Diangana out to... I mean, there's so many different combos I could do, but Hazard and Felipe Anderson, Sané and Felipe Anderson, Sané and Ali, Sané and Eriksen I could do. And that's a pretty big midfield. Two Spurs, 2 Man City and Richarlison. But I'm taking out... Now, I don't think Salah's going to get anything against Man United. I know everyone's saying Man United are rubbish, and I agree. Defending has been poor. It's not that I don't think he'll get anything, but you got to think his points will be severely down on a hat-trick, right? If he comes away with 2 points, I wouldn't be that surprised. So that's why I've been thinking about getting rid of him, especially with the 2 other top 6 fixtures at the other end of this run of 5. But at the same time, I'm getting rid of him when I've got Trent, Diangana and Ryan to worry about. And he has Wolves away, who can't keep a clean sheet, as we've already discussed. And then he's got Newcastle at home, who arguably could be my captain that week. Because that's a pretty decent fixture. You know, some people kind of... I don't know if this will happen, because I don't know if their defender issues are going to be that bad for clean sheets. I do think if you're going to go for a non-Liverpool defender, it's this next 5 weeks if they're all injured. But you know, if the ones we talked about are injured, but I'm not sure it's going to be that bad for their clean sheet. But some people saying they might attack more. They might have to attack more. I don't know if that's wishful thinking. But yeah, Salah's only got 1 bad fixture in the next 5. So yeah, Salah and Diangana to Hazard and Felipe, Sané and Felipe, Sané and Ali, whoever it might be. I'll just show you. Be easier. You can see what money's left. Or we'll come on to the or in a minute. So don't know about Hazard. The thing about Hazard is, I think he's going to do well over the next 5 or 6. They've got such good fixtures, but people not going for him. People are thinking of selling him. So that kind of puts you off straight away. That's just the kind of season. With so many premium hitters, that's what we're kind of looking at, I guess. There's so many options. Some people want Man City mids and don't have any. So they're selling Hazard. So I could do that. Obviously, Trent would be a problem, but I could just play Wan-Bissaka. So that's an option. Or if I go Sané, which I kind of like to do, to be honest, because I just think Man City is so good. And then I got 10 million. Can you see that? Yeah. So I've got 10 million to spend. So that could be basically anyone that's not Hazard, Ali, Ericsson, Felipe Anderson still, and just money in the bank. That would also, the money in the bank would let me do a Aubameyang Kane if I needed to. So that's an option. But if Trent's out, then I feel like he gives me a good reason to keep Salah, who again, I've said it loads of times even before I looked at selling him. I feel like you need a good excuse to get rid of him. He's been so consistent. And these two fixtures, Wolves and Newcastle, very good, very good. So keep him, and then I would just do Dean Garner. I'd probably still go Felipe Anderson. I know people are looking at Snodgrass now. I could do Snodgrass in for free, to be honest. So I actually have 6.6 million to spend without doing another transfer, so I could keep Trent. And originally I was going to look at getting rid of Keane to fund this next move I'm going to talk about, but if Trent's injured, then I might as well keep Keane, even though he's no good for the next couple of weeks, but at least he'll play. So basically a 4.6 million defender. That's what I'm looking at. So that would give me Salah, Felipe Anderson, Richarlison, Son and Sterling. I think that's a pretty sweet midfield. And to be fair, at that point, when you work it out like that, that's basically Salah versus Hazard, Salah versus Sané over the next 3 weeks. I don't think anyone can confidently say that Salah will get massively outscored. And I still get Felipe Anderson, who a lot of people are looking at bringing in. Yeah, I could have Sané and Hazard, and actually Trent makes that a bit easier now. So I could do this, because originally I was looking at doing this, but for Alonso out, because I didn't really want to get rid of anyone else. But obviously Trent, if he's out, makes everything a bit easier. But that's a -8 then, so it's a 4.4 million defender. So it's possible, but a -8 to get rid of Salah, I just don't know if that sits well with me, to be honest. I just don't know. But I mean, that midfield is so nice. Like, insanely nice. And I still have Aubameyang. But 8-point hit. I think the thing to consider with the 8 points is I'm taking a -4 anyway. So it's really backing Hazard against Salah over the next 5. That's how to look at it. So the -4, I think sometimes you see -8 and it looks horrible, but I'm taking a -4 anyway. So I'm basically betting 4 points that Hazard will outscore Salah over the next 5. And then I've got to figure out who to captain out of this lot. Yeah, Balbuena is an option, yeah. I mean, that midfield, I do like the look of that midfield, I'll be honest. It'd be so funny if Sané, Sterling and Son will get rested, though. What's up, Physio? But I think I'm probably just going to keep Salah. I'm probably just going to do this way around. Get Felipe Anderson. Hopefully his points don't suddenly dry up when I get him in. Do something like that. The only thing about Balbuena for me is if I swap Ryan, I may go Fabianski, and I definitely don't want to double on West Ham defence. And then slightly longer term, I'll be looking at Keane to Kolasinac, maybe. So I kind of like that. I think it keeps a good structure to my squad. The thing about keeping Salah is, let's say Kane does go nuts and I need him for a couple of game weeks for captaincy, then Salah is always my get out clause for getting Kane in. So I could basically switch Salah and Kamara to Kane on the 4.5. So structure-wise, I kind of like that. I wouldn't just be keeping Salah just for that, but it is something to have in the back of your mind. Team structure and that. Does a premium midfield usually pay off more than a premium forward line? So it depends on the season. In recent seasons, I say probably. The thing to consider is, I mean, when you say premium forward line, who are you looking at? Kane and Aubameyang maybe? In that team, I've still got Aubameyang, so you're really just looking at Kane versus Salah. That's all it is. Otherwise, I can have Kane or Salah and still have those other 4 midfielders. Does that make sense? Is it too risky to go with Sané, Sterling, Kane? I mean, I don't know why that would be risky. You've picked 4 great players. Thoughts on Salah to Sterling for a 4-point hit? Yeah, I mean, if you've got no Man City players, yeah, maybe. Especially if you're going to captain Sterling this week. But like I said just a minute ago, though, Salah has 2 very good fixtures after this one. Now, people are talking about him being rested. Could that happen? Yeah, absolutely. So looking at their fixtures, they've got Man United this week. And then they've got a week off for Wolves. And then Newcastle. And then Arsenal. Now, this is just going to sound like I'm just saying it, I guess, because I own him. But I actually think he'll probably play all those games. He gets a full week. No, sorry, it's only 5 days, actually. Yeah, he's got a Friday kickoff. Wow. So he gets 5 days between Wolves, then another 5 days to Newcastle. And then, yes, it's only 3 to the Arsenal game, but he'll definitely play that. And then it's another 5 to the Man City game. So that's a pretty good rest. 5 days compared to other teams who some of them are only getting like Spurs have only got 3 days between a lot of their games. So I actually think Salah will probably play them all, and they're top of the league. There's no way he's going to want to relinquish that spot now. How long have Man City had top of the league wrapped up for, like over the last season and a bit? And Liverpool are finally there now. I don't think Salah tends to be one of those players that gets rested that often, to be honest. It's a bit like Kane. We talk about it all the time. Sterling and Sané, yeah, fair enough, but Salah, not so sure. They didn't do too great against Burnley without him. Yeah, they scored a couple of goals, I think, but I think they were both when they were on the pitch. I think, did Milner not score and it was 1-1 or something, then they had to come on, him and Firmino, to save the day? Plus, it's Boxing Day. Always got good memories of Boxing Day. Salah captain, job done. You're only left with 1 City player. I mean, honestly, I'm not bothered about having 3 City players because I don't think I can really fit in 3 attackers. Not asked about a defender. So really, it's 2 midfielders. So again, it's Salah versus Sané, and obviously a bit of money. But yeah, I'd love Sané. It's just hard to fit him in. Who do I recommend for 5.4? Probably Snodgrass. I know he's like flavour of the month right now. I don't know. I must admit, I've not looked at midfielders too often for like 5.4 million. Kante, Patterson actually. And I'll tell you who's had a lot of shots in the box recently. I think it's in the box, or maybe just goal attempts in general. Is Pritchard at Huddersfield, I noticed. How much is he? 4.8. Now, there was a bit of a Pritchard bandwagon last season. It did not go well, I'll be honest. But they got Newcastle, Southampton, Fulham and Burnley and Cardiff in like the next 6-7 game weeks. So, could be an ultimate punt there. But Snodgrass is probably the in-form one. Congratulations, Aaron. Hopefully you're all good and recovering. And congrats on the 5k as well. Brooks, yeah, I completely forgotten about Brooks. And actually, Bournemouth have 2 good fixtures now. People were asking me on Twitter earlier about Wilson. I think you just wait on news. If he's fit, you keep him. I do love how quickly things change in FPL though. Like a few weeks, maybe a week or 2 game weeks ago, like Wilson was like absolutely must have. Now no one's talking about him. Obviously he's injured. That's just how quickly FPL turns around. How bothered are you about Ryan? The thing is, I'd probably look at Fabianski. And he's not really been keeping many clean sheets. So I do wonder how many points I'm really going to get if I make a goalkeeper change. So I can see me keeping him for a couple of weeks because I'm already eyeing up Keane to Kolasinac next week. And if I go Kolasinac, I don't want Leno as well. I don't think I want to double on Arsenal defence. So I'm not sure. I'd have to check out the saves for Leno, but I bet he's not making that many. You want Sané now, he's on fire and he's got 2 lovely games. I know, and this decision is going to go right down to the wire. Not going to make it tonight. Yes, and now I'm thinking again about the Sané Hazard double up. And no Felipe Anderson, but the thing about Let me actually get my words out. The one thing that puts me off, I suppose, not going for Felipe Anderson is I almost feel like I'm doing that because the other two are just more expensive. Now, yeah, you'd probably argue that Sané and Hazard will outscore him, but Felipe Anderson's been doing so well for his price. It could just be a bit of a bargain. So I don't want to overlook him and get the other two just because I can afford them. If that makes sense. Howe's team news is largely unhelpful. He frequently omits if certain players aren't available. Yeah, no, fair point. I guess you just try and wait till as late as possible. I mean, if there's any... Last week it was getting Wilson news at like 3 minutes to 11:30. This week, you know, we did, for those of us that didn't make transfers before Europe, we now know that Trent's potentially injured. I think it's just best to wait as late as possible and see if you can get some news on Wilson. But yeah, you're right about how I think he may have even had his press conference today and basically said there's some players we're looking at and that's about it. Man United has Huddersfield and Bournemouth at home. Who can we go for in midfield? Martial if he's back fit. Lingard maybe if you want to punt. But really, probably avoid Man United. Oh, I hate saying that. Punt on Lucas for 1 week. I mean, not for me unless you're wildcarding, but no guarantee he starts. Keep a sell Martial. Wait and see what Mourinho says. I mean, it is Liverpool next. It's going to be tough points then anyway. How's it going, Howard? Better to save the transfer than get Trent out. Surely not a big injury. Well, we'll have to wait and see, I guess. If it's a couple of weeks, it'll definitely be going for me. Which is a shame because I've loved that guy. Once Aguero is fit, who's the better investment, Aguero or Sané? I think Sané, to be honest. Cheaper. Arguably got the same kind of ceiling. Same point ceiling, that is. Not like same kind of, you know, kitchen ceiling or anything like that. Don't forget, by the way, if you haven't already, make sure to vote on the polls. Top right hand corner, click that little eye. And hit a like on the video if you haven't already. It'd be much appreciated. The more I look at Anderson on screen, the more it makes sense as a transfer. Yeah, I think it does too. It will hurt if Sané goes mad again, though. If he gets another like 20-point haul or 16-point haul, whatever, that will hurt. Because I am fully expecting Salah to blank. I've just got to try and remember it's the long game. It's not just about this week. It's about the next 2-3 weeks, and then maybe, you know, the rest of the season. Still don't think Torreira is a good choice. Do I not think he's a good choice? I just don't really get... I know he's only cheap, so he doesn't have to get that many points, but I just can't buy into this hype, to be honest. Just swap Stones for David Luiz, aiming for Alonso to Laporte next week. I'd be tempted just to double up on Chelsea, to be honest. Will I keep Richarlison? Yes. I mean, potentially you could look to get rid of him for a couple of weeks, but I think you will want him back after these next two. So again, it comes down to luxury transfers or not, really. I think. He's almost a certain star. Sure, he could get a rest at some point like everyone, but they really need him in the team. He is the main goal threat, whether that's from the left or up front. Pretty good price. Everton's fixtures are good after the next two. I just think he's a keep for me for sure. Who am I getting for Trent? Honestly, it's really tough to answer because I've not had a proper look at who to get. I kind of mentioned some names already. I think Balbuena, 4.4 million, a bit of goal threat. But the problem is, if I want to go Ryan to Fabianski, then that's double West Ham defence, and that just absolutely screams no to me. There's a Huddersfield defender. I actually don't. Let me have a look. Let me have a look to see if I'm missing someone. Could go back in time and get Doherty for 4.4 again. Bamba. Cardiff? Oof, no, horrible fixtures. Let me just see who I've considered. Yeah, Schindler. Can't afford Holobas. Maybe Kiko Femenia. Who else have I looked at? Not actually too many others. Balbuena, like I said. Not Yedlin. Lots of 4.7s I just can't afford. Louvre at Huddersfield too. Sure, 5 million. Shame. Yeah, I think that's about it really. Diop if you want to go for bonus, I suppose, instead of goal threat, but Balbuena seems more interesting. Oh, Kiko Femenia at Watford, I suppose. I'm interested in Schindler, but it feels stupid to get Huddersfield players in. Yeah, I hear you. I do hear you there. But they've got, like I said, they've got Newcastle and Southampton at home in the next two. Let me see if I was just talking rubbish about their defence. Yeah, they've been conceding goals. They kept a clean sheet against Wolves. Only conceded 1 against West Ham at home. None against Fulham at home. Only 1 against Liverpool at home. I feel like they can be organised enough when they want to be, but yeah, maybe a collection of straws if you're not sure about their clean sheet potential. Why even get rid of Trent? I plan on keeping as I have a solid bench at the moment. Surely he'll come back a lot sooner. Short answer is we'll have to wait and see on news. If he's back in one game week's time or something, then I might keep him. Because I can still do a similar move with Keane. I just have to get a 4.3 million defender. It just means my options are a bit more limited. So then it would be Kiko Femenia or Diop probably. Isn't Bernardo Silva a better option paired with a 4.4 million defender than Felipe? I don't know. There's something about Bernardo Silva. I just don't feel like he's. The thing with Bernardo Silva, you're basically buying him because you can't afford Sané. I don't know. You know, if you have a choice between the two, you obviously go for Sané. I just think Felipe Anderson's maybe more likely to be involved. As a sort of talisman figure, whereas Bernardo Silva could do nothing all game, and Man City would still score 3 goals. Would West Ham score 3 with no Felipe Anderson involvement? I don't know. Then again, how often would they score 3? I suppose, but yeah, Bernardo Silva just not for me. But that's just personal preference. Plenty of people really rate him. Sell Alonso's attacking threat for 1.5 million for Alonso to David Luiz. Keep the clean sheets. Better money spent elsewhere. If you think that David Luiz's attacking threat is not going to return, then yes. But again, sure you save some money, but what are you doing with that money? Like, if you've got a good plan for it, then maybe you could switch. Yes, David Luiz has outscored Alonso since game week 4. But that's not to say that Alonso won't turn that around, especially with the easier fixtures. Maybe he'll be given a bit more of a license to get forward. Possibly. But if you've got something to do with the money, then yeah, it's not that bad an option. There's Rudiger as well. Obviously, we're looking at Luiz because he just scored, but Rudiger, pretty decent goal threat too. You've not mentioned Kane a lot tonight. Are you past being concerned by him? I don't think you can ever be concerned by... I don't think you can ever not be concerned about Kane. But I've kind of just... Like, I'll hate watching that Spurs game, especially if Son's not playing. I will really hate watching it without Kane. So I'll just be sat there thinking, don't score, Kane, don't score. I guess I've just come to the terms with the fact I've got Aubameyang. I could make some money and get Kane in, but I don't know. Aubameyang's had another rest tonight. Southampton's a good fixture. Kane's just had to play Barcelona. I mean, sure he'll play, but how knackered will the Spurs team be? Will Burnley turn up? Probably not. But yeah, it's not about not being concerned. It's just I just can't have everyone, you know. And obviously, it's a little bit of a risk. I'm betting that he's not going to do as well as he needs to for 12.5 million. But again, for the next 2 games, can Salah match him? I think he probably can. You know, I don't think... Yes, okay, you could say that Kane will score more than Salah in the next 2, but I don't know if the chances are that high. Who does Kane even have in the next 2? I think it's someone and then Bournemouth. Bournemouth's obviously a great fixture. Everton away. Like, is that going to be that easy? Not sure. And then it's Bournemouth at home. So, don't get me wrong, Burnley and Bournemouth at home, if he plays both those games, that is points potential heaven. But yeah, we just haven't really seen it from Kane all season. So I'm hoping that continues. I will admit that, I mean, it's been a few games now, but they haven't had Ali, Son and Eriksen for a lot of the season. That's going to help. You know, they probably need to get up to rhythm again, playing with each other, and that's happening. Like, they got loads of plaudits for that Barcelona game. So yeah, I'm just not going for him, but it doesn't mean I think he's a bad pick. And yeah, could get a Christmas hat trick, and it will hurt if my players, if I get a really bad game week like a 40-50 and Kane captainers get a 70-80-90, that's really going to hurt. My rank's going to drop a lot. But again, I've made that decision now, and yes, I might be punished by it, but it's hard to rectify without taking more hits and not dealing with everything else in my team. So yeah, I'm not going to go for him basically. Will I captain Salah next week? Maybe, probably not though. I think I'd probably look at just captaining Sterling again if I'm honest, because he's at home. When it comes to United games, do you support United over your FPL players? Yes, of course. But I'll be honest and say, I always say this, it's always nice if both outcomes can happen. Do you know what I mean? So if I own if I own Salah this week, I'd love a Salah hat-trick, but I'd also like Man United to win 6-3. I'd quite happily take nothing from Salah if it means the win, but if it can be both outcomes, let's do it. With those 5.4 options, would you double up on West Ham? Already have Anderson. Yeah, or double up on Bournemouth if you already have Fraser. I'd maybe look at someone else then, Pritchard or someone. It sounds like a very cheap midfield you got. Pritchard is a bit of a punt though, I'll be honest. Who would I rather double up on those? Probably West Ham because of the fixtures. Man United won't score 6. Yeah, I do realise Man United aren't going to score 6. That was just a hypothetical. Yeah, never mind. Son, a good differential captain. Yes, I think he is. If you think he'll start, I think he's absolutely a good option for captain this week. Imagine if Kamara starts hauling as a 4.3 million option. They really need him to start starting. That would be really handy. Like, super, super handy. Just join, is Arnold out? He's not necessarily out. Maybe out of my team. 5 playing midfielders sounds excessive, but I've only got two forwards that I want to play. It's no difference. When am I on Fantasy Football Scout? Or the Scoutcast? I couldn't do it this week. Maybe next week. I think I'm on next week. The Christmas special, which would just be us wearing Christmas jumpers, I guess. How long have we been on? Time is flying. Alright, vote on those polls if you haven't already. Got 2 more minutes and then we'll do them. And while we're doing that, do a quick shout out to the patrons. Dean P, Madcheck, Alex C, Melissa B, Matthew H, Hayden H, Christopher M. And new one today, Ryan T.O.B. Didn't put the full name. Thanks very much for signing up to that. If you signed up and the payment goes through in January, then you'll be entered into the league, which has got an overall prize of $250. There's also mugs to win every month, as well as access to the Discord channel. So if you're interested in that, you can click the link below and check it all out. And if you've got any questions, let me know. So thanks to those guys for all their additional support. Okay. I'm torn on Sterling. I have the easy captain Kane, but I have a feeling... You're going to captain Kane. Everyone that's got Kane is going to captain. Doesn't matter how many other players they got. Don't even stress about it. You're going to captain Kane. I'll tell you right now. Talk about Kevin De Bruyne. He's not necessarily in the squad. Could still be injured. That's it. Do I think Sané will be benched when De Bruyne is back? No. I don't think he's necessarily benched any more than he would be anyway. Luke isn't captaining Kane despite owning him. Yeah, but Luke is different. Luke's a different animal when it comes to FPL. He likes to be different. Everyone else will captain Kane. If I was on wildcard, would I keep Alonso? Thanks very much for the donation there. Would I keep Alonso? Would I keep Alonso? Would I? So I don't want to put a wildcard team together now because I'm not really giving it some proper thought. My instinct is no. My instinct is I would probably try and take as much money out of my defence as possible to pump it up front. But yeah. It's hard to say without putting a wildcard team together for sure, but I think I'd probably say no. He's definitely been reined in a bit when it comes to attacking returns. They have played a couple of tougher fixtures over the last 4, I will say, and the fixtures coming are much easier. But yeah, I think I'd be worried enough to take him out. What's up, Jack? Would you double up on Son and Kane? Yep, don't see a problem with that. If you want Kane and you've got Son, or if you've got Kane and you want Son, or did I say the same thing twice then? If you've got Son already and you want to get Kane, or if you've got Kane already and you want to get Son, I don't see a problem with that. Good fixtures, good players. Gameweek 18, you have real issues as 3 of your defenders play top 6. What about the defender I bring in though? And I'll do Keane to Kolasinac by then, hopefully. I think I'll be okay. The cup is a load of rubbish mostly, I think. You basically get matched up with another FPL manager, and whoever gets the top score goes through to the next round, basically. You can see it in your main screen on the right. What's up, Dom? Alright, let's do the polls. If you haven't voted now, it's too late. Unless you can do it before it refreshes. Before I actually click the button. If you bring in Anderson, which front 8 are you dropping? I'm dropping Kamara because there's no guarantee he starts week to week. You already want Aguero back. Could be a possibility. Better than Kane. Oh, this isn't good. So my YouTube dashboard's just died, so I can't do anything. So hopefully the stream survives. It's really weird. It's never done that before. Okay, we're back. Okay, so best Trent Alexander-Arnold replacement. 40% say Doherty, 39% say Kolasinac. So quite close, and I think it is pretty close. I think I would look at Kolasinac as a bit of a differential, but no denying that Doherty's been brilliant. 6% Lovren and 13% someone else. Your Game Week 17 captain is going to be Kane. Oh God, Kane is going to really... If Kane scores a hat-trick, it's really going to hurt. He is owned by like more than... It's probably more than 70% now in the top 10k. 60% of you are captaining Kane apparently. Only 18% on Sterling or Sané. 13% on Aubameyang. 3% on Hazard and 3% on someone else. Damn. 60%. Ouch. Lacazette. Keep or sell. 70% say sell. 29% say keep. Best David Silva replacement. Son comes out top just on 33%. And then Anderson and Sané. Oh no, sorry. Anderson's on 30%. Sané on 29%. Bernardo Silva on 4%. Bernardo Silva's a boring option. 1% someone else. So Son getting the win there. And the best Ryan replacement, 62% saying Fabianski. Yeah, I think that's probably right. 16% Leno. 11% on someone else. And 9% just saying, just keep him. Goalkeepers don't get many points anyway. Just keep him. There you go. Be careful with Lovren. I've heard from a very good source that Fabinho might be used instead. Game changer. I hold no responsibility if that doesn't come out true. Is Lacazette's son worth a hit this week on no Spurs cover and Lacazette unlikely to start? He could start. I suppose it depends on the rest of the hit, but it could work, yeah. I mean, I took a 4-point hit for Son this week. Worked out. My brother loves watching your tips videos. What about you, though? Just your brother. He is going to the Asian Cup in January, but that's still a few game weeks away. I'll worry about it then. Maybe Button will retain his place on the bench by then. No love for Mitrovic. Not right now, but again, for my personal team, just doesn't fit in with the structure I've got. I'm basically going big in midfield. But yeah, if you've got a spare striker slot, I don't see why he couldn't do the business for you. He's on 4 yellow cards, a bit annoying, but good fixtures. Double up on Son and Ericsson. I've considered it. I think it's a good option. I think you could go Ali as well instead of Ericsson. He Spurs' fixtures are really good. Harry Kane is better than Aguero. Debatable, I would say. I mean, if you said to me now, we're going into Euro... Well, Aguero's getting older, I guess, but we're going into Euro 2020. You can have Aguero or Kane. Probably taking Aguero. Captain Salah in, against Man United. Honestly, Salah could have scored three hat tricks over the last 3 games, so I still wouldn't captain against Man United. Just saying. That's just me though. Who would I captain, Salah or Sterling for this game week? Sterling. Alright, let's say it's at Man United or whatever. Aguero or Kane. I'll take Aguero. I don't think it's... Yeah, okay. It doesn't matter whether he's from South America or Europe. He's not English. Again, it was just hypothetical. Let's say it's Man United. Do I think Spurs will put out the best team ahead of the Arsenal game? I mean, it's a quarter-final, I suppose. They might play a bit of a stronger team, but it's just the League Cup. Sun for Martial could be a hit. It could be for sure if Martial's out. Wait on news on that one. Kane triple captain? Nah, I don't think so. Double game week. Howard, thanks very much for the Canadian dollars. Thanks to consistent quality content. No worries. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks to everyone for tuning in. Am I planning to use the free hit over Christmas? Nope. That'll be used around double game weeks, blank game weeks, sometime in the future. Any update on Wilson? Not from me. Felipe Anderson in for Richarlison for a hit. I'm not sure about that, to be honest. Yeah, to get that back just this week, obviously you'd have to score an extra goal over Richarlison, which could happen given the fixtures, but then you probably want Richarlison back in a couple of weeks. I don't know. Not sure about that one, to be honest. But if you want to go for it, sure team, do it. Any Man United players worth getting? I mean, defence, who knows who's going to play week in, week out. Maybe Young, I guess, is pretty nailed, but... what was I going to say? I mean, Lingard, Martial, maybe if they're fit. You could look at Rashford, I suppose, as a cheap up-front option. But again, if Lukaku plays and Martial's back and someone's got to play on the right, it might not be Rashford. I think he then comes out of the team. So, I don't know. Man United, I just think, not playing great. You're not completely sure who the best option is there. I would probably steer clear. Chances of Trent playing, really don't know. We're going to have to wait to see what Klopp says, to be honest. I'm just kind of spitballing on the possibility of him being out. Right, people, I think we will leave this stream there. Thanks very much for tuning in. If you haven't already, hit like on the stream if you've enjoyed it. Hit subscribe if you're new around here. Would be much appreciated. Deadline stream on Saturday. Almost definitely not. But I suppose the Man City lineup is interesting, but we'll see. We'll see what's going on at the time. All depends on family, whether I'm around, if I'm in the house, whatever. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. What was I going to say? I don't even know. Who cares? Good luck in Game Week 17. Hopefully you'll do really well, but not as good as me, because I want to win FPL this year. I don't know if I'll tweet out my team beforehand. I'll see if I remember. I think I will probably get someone in for Trent and get Felipe Anderson in for Dean Garner and keep Salah. Could still change that though. But I just think I'm going to probably keep Salah now because of those 2 good fixtures after Man United. Sané's the one I really want. I think Hazard could do well. Ericsson, Ali could do well, but Sané's the one I really fear not owning. But yeah. Good luck in Game Week 17. Next stream will be... Oh, yes. Only Sunday games today. No Monday games. So the next stream will definitely be... Probably be Sunday. I say that because it could be a busy Sunday for me, and I don't know when I'm going to be back for sure. So probably Sunday. If not, definitely Monday, but I'll let you know on Twitter. So yeah, see you then. I'll say good luck for the 50th time. Good luck. And I'll catch you next time. Thanks.